And welcome. Happy Monday. It is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on the feast of St. John Paul II, the Great, the Magnificent. I could go on and on. And he was one of my favorites, Debbie. I know you loved him too.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? Oh, yeah. He's one of my go-to saints. Yeah. This is a great day and a great way to start off the week on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And, this show, Jerry, just keeps growing and expanding. The family keeps evolving, and I just love it. And I love when we do shows that relate around family dynamics and different situations, and this is one of them. And I think we're going to get a lot of calls. And I just was reflecting back on something I wanted to share about this topic, but I'll share it later in the show. But it's a great topic, and it's one that we can all learn from.
All right, well, let me give you the phone number, and then we'll pass along what we're going to talk about today. You can get in on the discussion at 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. And we're asking you today, are you a twin, or are you a triplet, or a quadruplet, or what is five?
Quintuplet. Sextuplet.
Yeah.
Keep
Are
going.
you? Or do you share a birthday, the very exact same birthday, with a family member or more than one family member? Yeah, a few minutes apart. So, and how is and Debbie? And you put this topic up there. So, give a little idea where you wanted to go with this.
I just think it's fascinating, where's your, and we always make it come around spirituality. So it's kind of interesting. Like if you're part of a triplet group, are you all the same kind of spiritual place in your life? Because spirituality and your faith life, it's a journey. It's a process. It's interesting. Maybe if you're a twin, maybe you're uber religious and your twin is not. Your twin went the other way or something. It's fascinating. And just to talk about it, it's always interesting to see when two souls are joined so closely in the womb, and then when they get into life, does it stay the same, or is it different? Or maybe tell us a little bit about it. Maybe some of the relationship qualities that you guys have. I've heard it said that you can finish each other's sentences. When the phone's going to ring and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. Or if you were the mother or the father of twins or triplets or quadruplets or quintuplets, call us and let us know. How you got through it. Because let me just share this, Jerry. Let me give the number and I'll share this. And it kind of cracks me up. I still remember it after 25 years. 833-288-EWTN. That's 1-833-288-3986. I was part of a mom's group, and one of the gals in our group, she had two girls, and then she was pregnant again with twin girls. And after she had the twin girls, she actually she asked my advice on what to name them. So I was kind of excited because I did help. I'd like to think I helped name them. Their names were Sabrina and Christina. Absolutely beautiful. And they were named after their mother and father. The father's name was Sabino, and the mother's name was Christine. So we named them. We kind of, did a little change up. But the twins were beautiful. Anyway, she really needed some time, and so we forced her to get out of the house. And so I opted to show up on her doorstep and take care of the twin girls one afternoon. Now, mind you, I had children myself, but my kids were at my friend Debbie's house, and so I went into her house and I got the twin babies, and I had one in my arm and the other one in a bouncy chair, and I was rocking one in my left arm, and I was with my foot, I was moving the bouncy chair with my foot so the other one would stay quiet, and they were doing great. And all of a sudden, one started crying, the other one started crying. I thought, oh my goodness. And I remember being there for about 2.5 hours. It felt like 20 hours. It was unbelievable. So it's amazing. I mean, double the work, double everything. You got to keep them both happy. When one starts to cry, the other one cries. But they were so adorable. And I always wanted twins. And so if you were a twin or a triplet, or you had twins or triplets or more, call us and tell us what that experience was like and what it means now when they're grown up and stuff. It's kind of an interesting topic, and one that I think we can learn from, Jerry.
Yeah, and there are sometimes people, we've done shows very, very recently, in fact, about difficulty conceiving, having children, and so forth. And then it's often the case that people will pray and pray and pray and seek legitimate medical help and so forth. And all of a sudden, Debbie, not only God will give them one, but maybe two or three at the same time. So if that's happened to you, let us know. 833 288-3986. And also, just on a spiritual level, it would be very interesting to hear if there's anybody, if you're a twin or a triplet or more, and maybe you or maybe one or two of you are practicing the faith, and maybe the third one isn't, or maybe you are and your twin is not. Because Debbie, they say, obviously even identical twins do have, obviously, they have their own individual souls and their own individual minds and hearts and follow their own sort of path in life. So a lot of interesting angles we can take on this today.
Yeah, and we're here to learn from you. So this is your experience. If you have, even if you're not, maybe if you've never had twins or triplets, or you're not part of that, maybe you know of situations, maybe there's relatives or friends of yours, and let's just kind of view this from all different angles. This is what Take Two is all about. Remember, Take Two is not about it takes two of us to do this. It's taking a second look at things. Now, we actually had an email that one time, remember, Jerry, that said it takes the two of you to do it. No. We're looking at it from different angles, see if we can reframe things and come away with a little bit changed, a little bit closer to God. And so if you can help us with that, we sure would appreciate it. So if you feel prompted by the Spirit to call in, this is your show. This is your platform, your chance to impart wisdom or experience or your education on something, whatever works. We're here to learn. 833-288-EWTN. That's 1-833-288-3986.
And another interesting dynamic that I would love to hear about. Obviously, I'm not a twin, Debbie, you are not. But as you go through life, often we have big brothers and sisters and little brothers and sisters, and we interact with them differently depending on where we are and where they are, sort of in the birth order, the pecking order, if you will. Well, here you are. You've got a twin. You're born maybe just minutes apart or what have you. Maybe you're identical twins, perhaps not. But even so, you're actually more like peers growing up. You're more like peers. So how does that change the dynamic in terms of the way that you relate to one another versus or in contrast to how you relate to, say, an older brother or sister or younger brother and sister? I'd love to hear about that, Debbie.
Okay, so all kinds of family dynamics, all kinds of situations, and now there's plenty of time for you to call in. So dial in and you'll speak to Ryan. He's just fabulous to talk to, and we'd love to hear your beautiful, shining voice. 833-288-3986. This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and you. You are the key person, so don't let us down. Fill the phone lines. When we come back, we're going right to you to hear what you have to say about twins, triplets, quintuplets, quadruplets, whatever.
Starting off a new week, and you have tuned in to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio. You make the show what it is by your calls, your texts. You can text the letters EWTN to 55000. Wait for a short little alert, and then it could put in your comment, your question, your first name. Might be a small data rate. Be sure you check with your phone plan about that. You can also type in your comments on Facebook and YouTube as well. And we're talking today about, are you a twin, a triplet, a quadruplet, born at the same time as one of your siblings. And before we go right to your phones, I want to mention that Morning Glory airs every weekday on EWTN Radio on many of these same affiliates, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And Dr. Maureen Kondich of the Charlotte Lozier Institute will be discussing the new March for Life theme, Pro-Life is Pro-Science. And you'll get your godly counsel from Father Edward Looney. That's Morning Glory, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday here on EWTN Radio.
Sounds great. Okay, first up is Regina, and Regina is in Detroit, Michigan on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Regina, and welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Regina.
Very good. I'm an identical twin. My identical twin sister has already died. My mother named us, when I was listening to your show, I was so excited. I still got to call them. My mother named us after the Holy Family, and I never really realized it till I had a very good friend of mine, she's in a Catholic ministry. After my sister died, I had a little bit of counseling with her, and she kept thinking of my sister's name, Christina, and spelled Christ-like, K-R-Y-S-T-Y-N-A, Christina, like the European way. And my name is Regina, Queen of Heaven. Mm-hmm. And my twin sister died of cancer about 10 years ago. And she said, Regina, your sister died, and she had a very suffering death because she had cancer, rectal cancer. It was very suffering, and then there was a rift in the family. So I really couldn't see too much of her. They didn't even tell me when she was in the hospital. And my friend Sue says, Regina, just like Christ had a horrible end of his death, your twin sister had a horrible death too. And I just listening to her, I said, oh my God, she was part of the Stevens ministry. I don't know if you know about that. It's where they just listen to you, and they kind of give you a couple suggestions, but basically listen to you. And then she says, and you're the Blessed Mother. You're the one who's going to live longer between the two of you twins, because the Blessed Mother lived longer. And I got such an insight, when she told me that. I said, oh my God, my mother actually named us after the Holy Family, and it never dawned on me. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You it came to light why that it was planned that your mother named both of you after the Holy Family. Absolutely. Well, first of all, I just want to say, Regina, real quickly, even though it's been 10 years since Christina has passed, I put her in the book because we pray for the living and the deceased. But that is a beautiful thing that your mother planned that out, and it sounds like both of you have had an extraordinary faith life. And
we were very, 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 very close.
Right.
I always laugh. I said, did God give us the same guardian angel, or did we get two different guardian angels? I just don't know. I pray to her guardian angel all the time.
You each get your own. That's my understanding from studying the angels. You each have your own. Each soul has their own guardian angel. But your guardian angels do communicate, and they're very, very, so just like you as twins probably communicated at a much higher level because you were twins, the same way with the guardian angels as well. So of course you could pray to their guardian angels as well, or ask your guardian angel to talk to their guardian angel. But you're never,
absolutely.
you're never disconnected. I mean, you know that, Regina. So what a beautiful story. What do you think, Jerry? Regina and Christina, I love it.
When she said the names, I thought, wow, that is absolutely beautiful. And Regina, I joined Debbie in offering, obviously 10 years ago, you lost your sister. It's very, very unfortunate. I lost my sister a year and a half ago at the age of 57, so I've been through that experience. We weren't twins, but certainly do value your participation, your input on this topic here on the program. You've added a lot, and you've got us kicked off, I think, on a very good note here. And we have, actually, Debbie, a lot of twins listening to the show, because look at the phone lines there.
Oh, we're all
Regina,
full.
Yeah, we'll let you go, Regina,
Yeah.
on that. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you calling Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hey, before we get back to our calls, Debbie, you and I have a regular listener and emailer, and her name is Eileen. You'll know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And Eileen emails us regular updates on some preemie twin baby girls. They were born on May 2nd, premature, Emma and Layla. And Eileen would like everyone, please continue to pray for them, Emma and Layla and their parents. And I believe the last update we got, Eileen sent me another email. One of them was out of the hospital. one was, I think, still in, but this is obviously several months. They were born in May. And so, yeah, they're really going through a tough time. So everybody, Take Two family, let's rally behind Emma and Layla and their parents and anybody else who needs our prayers today.
Absolutely. Okay, Ann, you're up next in Steubenville, Ohio on God's Love Radio. Hi, Ann. Thanks for waiting and welcome.
Hi, good morning. I just have a quick prayer request. There is an abortion pill reversal hotline. And if a girl took the abortion pill, we treat her like she's miscarrying. And I had a call last Friday. An 18-year-old regretted that she took the abortion pill, and she was carrying twins. And she said if they lived, she was going to give them up for adoption. So I think I better keep the name anonymous. But if you could keep this young lady in your prayers with her twins, we'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead,
yes.
Deb.
No, you go ahead, Jerry.
I just want to make sure I'm clear, Ann. So she was going to take she did take the abortion reversal pill. Is that correct?
She took the abortion pill, and we tried to reverse it with progesterone. So she's taking the course of progesterone.
Okay.
And I just would like her prayed for because she's carrying twins.
Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Debbie, we get a lot of prayer intentions on this show, all of them very, very meaningful and important and very poignant. Probably none more so than this. There are many that are very, very important. But and thank you, Debbie. This is so what a blessing that we have this opportunity, this platform globally to be able to pray for this young lady and her two twin babies.
Ann, we'll storm heaven. We'll storm heaven. And Ann, thank you for the work that you do. And please tell the group that you work with, thank them from us for the work that they're doing, because that's important. You know, I was just talking this weekend when I was in Buffalo, New York, about this exact subject of how young people, when they get pregnant, the fear sets in and panic sets in, and there's all these other beautiful options, like giving those children as a gift to somebody who has been waiting and wanting and longing for children. And so I just thank you so much. I pray that those babies, if it's God's will that they are meant to be here, they're going to be into a beautiful family that's always wanted twins. And this young girl can go on knowing she gave a great gift to another family. I know you share that with me, Ann, because it's really the ultimate thing, is the gift of life, and to give others the ability to be good parents and to continue the work that we are all called to do as baptized Christians. So would you do that for us? Would you pass on that message we just pass it on to you, but to your group as well?
Yes, I will do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Ann, for bringing this to our attention, and a lot of prayers from all around the world going out for that young lady and the twins that she is carrying right now. Talking about, are you a twin, a triplet, a quadruplet, a quintuplet? Do you have multiples in your own birth moment, your own birth date? Let us know, 833-288-3986. And Debbie, we got an email from Ezra in North Carolina. Ezra says, I don't have twins, but they run in my genes. My grandmama had 3 sets of twins. Her first pair was a miscarriage. The second pair had one die during birth, and the third pair survived. She went on to have 8 kids in total. Then she says, surprisingly, none of my aunts or uncles had twins, but with over 20 cousins, we're waiting to see how many sets our generation gets. We've had one set of twins so far, recently born prematurely but recovering great. Hopefully God will bless us with an even larger family soon. We've got lots of love to go around, she says.
I love that. Were you ever fascinated by the story of Elvis and his twin? You know, he was a twin, Elvis Presley.
You know, I did not know that.
Yeah, and his twin died. And he was always, you read this story sometime, it's kind of interesting because he never really emotionally got over it. And so that's another thing too. I mean, if you were a twin and your twin didn't make it, how has that impacted you? It's an interesting story, but I've always was intrigued by Elvis Presley's story of him being one of two, a twin. Okay, Adeline in Great Bend, Kansas on Divine Mercy Radio. Adeline, thanks for waiting. Welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here on your show.
Good to have you.
I am a 30-year-old with a twin brother, and your question as to what spirituality is like being a twin, First, I'm really grateful to share this experience because I love having the gift of a brother who was born on the same day as I was. And our spirituality really has changed, even though so many of our experiences overlap. And I'm grateful for that because there are many things that I think we can teach each other through it. But I've remained an active practicing Catholic, and he has kept his interest in some participation in the Catholic faith, but definitely isn't a practicing Catholic. And yet his pursuit of truth is very sincere. So I wanted to share that perspective as a twin. We definitely have a connection, but our spirituality, just as our experiences are very distinct, are different.
Yeah, well, Adeline, thank you for calling, and God bless you for being a twin with your brother, and God bless you for maintaining a practice, I'm sure a devout one, of your Catholic faith. And like you said, he has some interest still in the Catholic faith, but isn't very involved right now, very practicing. But, I have to believe that, definitely the relationship that you two had growing up, which was, as Debbie alluded to earlier, and only you can know as a twin or a triplet or something, the special bond that you have with that sibling. And there's no doubt, Debbie, at least in my mind, that as Adeline's brother grows up, continues to grow up, and has at least some interest in the Catholic faith, he's gonna be watching Adeline and see how that bears fruit in your life. Because I'm sure growing up, Adeline, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and your brother probably often looked at each other and thought, how is that working for him? How's that working for her? And then maybe I should give that a try. What do you think, Deb?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I totally agree. I think that when you just said that about that special bond, I mean, whether it's identical twins or fraternal twins, I mean, you guys shared that space in the womb for depending on how many months you were in your mother's belly. You shared that space together, and you were developing, and that's the beauty of it. So many people think when they think of the gestation period, they think of the development of that baby. They think, oh well, nothing's happening. Of course, it's happening. You're bonding. You're hearing things outside of the womb. I mean, you guys are so connected, and that includes your spirituality, because that's who you are. That's who we're all made to be. And so I think, Adeline, you keeping being a great witness and him respecting you as his twin sister. I mean, I think that's the way to go, and you're going to have a great influence on your brother. And that's so cool that you have a twin brother. I mean, that's something that's so unique, and it's something that it's just your journey, yours and your brother's. And so I'm glad you shared that with us. Is there anything else you wanted to share about? Because you're primarily talking about fraternal twins, and so share what you want to share about that.
I don't think I have anything else other than saying sometimes I love the story of St. Benedict and his twin sister, St. Scholastica. There's a legend at the end of their life that St. Scholastica or St. Benedict had come to visit the other one, and they didn't want to end their conversation, but the other had obligations to their community. And according to the story, the Lord sent a really strong rain and allowed them to spend more time together. And that was before one of them passed away. So I think of that, and God bless the moms and dads who helped raise multiples. And I hope that St. Benedict and St. Scholastica can intercede for people who are twins.
Amen. Amen to that, Adeline. Thank you so much. And Debbie, did you get her brother's first name? If you were comfortable sharing that, Adeline?
Yeah, you didn't. Were you comfortable sharing it, Adeline?
Pray for him. Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Drew.
Okay.
And I'm expecting a baby here in the next couple of weeks, so I just would ask for your prayers if you could pray for our family. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, keep us posted in the next couple of weeks. Wow. Do we know what we're having, or is it a surprise?
We waited to find out when the baby's born, so we will be surprised and very grateful. Whatever baby human we are sent from God.
Praise God.
Please let us know. Please let us know when that happy day arrives.
It's not twins though, right? You know that much. Is that right?
This time it's one.
Okay.
Twan, okay.
Well, very good, Adeline. Thank you. We will definitely pray for Drew, and we'll pray for your final couple of weeks of your healthy pregnancy, God willing, and delivery, and the joy that that's going to bring to your family. Thank you, Adeline, for sharing that with us. Wow.
Oh, I love it. I
Look
love
at the
twins.
phone lines, Deb. My
I know. I
goodness.
just think it's the bond they have is so extraordinary. I just love it. Thank you again, Adeline. Okay, Daniel, you're up next.
Oh, hang on one second.
Oh, hang on. Oh, am I watching the clock? I'm not watching the
No,
clock.
apparently not.
I'm not. Thanks a lot. I get so
You're
excited
just so
about
you're
twins.
so immersed in the conversation about twins. Yeah.
Well, it's fascinating to me that they share the 9 months together. So a lot of times they come early. So what, 6, 7 months, 8 months, and it's just beautiful to think that the bonding experience goes for a lifetime. I just love that. So Daniel, hold on, please hold on, and the others. You hear that beautiful music. When we come back, we're going to talk about your story, your twin or triplet or quadruplet or quintuplet story. When we come back on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Always so good to have you with us here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, kicking off a week, the Feast of St. John Paul II. I'm Jerry Usher with Debbie Georgiani and you. We're talking about being one of multiple siblings born at the same time, twins, triplets, quadruplets, even more than that. If you were sextuplets, or what is 8, Debbie? Octuplets or something like that? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Is it? I don't know.
There probably aren't that many of them.
I haven't looked. I haven't checked out how many. We should check that out while we're talking to Daniel. And Daniel's in Oklahoma on Oklahoma Catholic Radio. Thanks for waiting, Daniel, before the break. And we're very excited to hear about your story. Welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Sure, Daniel.
Yeah. Actually, my mother she grew up as an only child, and she told everybody when she got married, she was going to have 2 sets of identical twins. She said it'd be boys first, and 2 years later, she'd have girls, and she did it. My brother and I were born first, and about 22 months later, she had 2 sets of her identical twin sisters. So
wow.
She had 2 sets of twins, all of us in diapers pretty much at the same time. You know, my brother and I were born in 59, and my sisters were born in 61. So
that's like
quadruplets. A crazy time for.
Yeah.
Oh, just about.
Yeah, really.
Wow. But by the way, real quickly, it is octuplets. So you're right,
Okay.
Jerry. You're always right, Jerry. Oh, pretty much.
I knew my study of Latin would come in handy sometime.
Yeah. Daniel, so you have an identical twin brother, and your sisters are identical twins. Okay, so where are you guys? Wow. So where are you guys at with your spirituality? Are you all kind of the same?
Well, actually, my brother, I just came into the Catholic Church 2 years ago, so we both always had faith, but we grew up we had a tough childhood. Our father was an alcoholic, so it took a long time to get where we're at. My brother, I joined the Army in 1981, and he joined the fire service down in Florida the exact same time, exact same month. He just retired as a firefighter paramedic after 37 years. And, so I think a lot of our life experience, seeing what you see, I did 20 years in the Army, then I've been a police officer for the last 16 years. So, it helps you see how precious life is, and, it kind of teaches you that, there's something bigger and better than what's going on our planet right now. So, but you talk about the bond between twins. The funny thing is, back in the old days when you had landlines, I'd pick up the phone to call my brother and wouldn't get a dial tone and say hello, and he'd already be on the line. He was calling me the exact same time. You can't really do that with cell phones now, but
right. No, I remember doing that a couple of times too when I was younger, Daniel. That is really quite. It really is kind of freaky, when you do that. Especially you both pick up to call the other one, and there you are. But how about your sisters? How about your identical twin sisters? What have they gone on to do, and are they still are they practicing devout Catholics?
No, they're not. It's funny. Before my parents passed away, they both actually came into the Catholic faith. So, okay. And they both do have faith, but they're just not. My wife and I always pray that they'll come into the Catholic Church. But my brother, when he comes into town, he always goes to church with us, and when we go to mass, and he actually loves it. But he was involved in one of those mega churches in Boca Raton, Florida, and actually he was a on-call paramedic during the services and everything. So he really got attached to that. So, but it's my sisters we kind of spread it. We were born in Kansas. My sisters, one's in South Carolina now, and the other one's in Colorado. And the funny thing is, growing up, me and my brother and Carrie, who was the youngest of the twins, she was more of a tomboy than Kathy was. So she always did the crazy things my brother and I got into. So, growing up in a small town in Kansas, anytime something happened in the neighborhood, the Mullins twins did it. And most of the time it probably was us, but even if we didn't do it, we got blamed for it. So.
Right. Well, a couple things. Can I just say something real quick? You said identical twin with your brother. You know what's interesting about your story, Daniel? Both you and your brother have servants' hearts. You're both with your brother being a firefighter, a paramedic, you being in the military, a police officer. Isn't that interesting? So the bond extends beyond the womb. Look how you two have done the same thing. You've both gone out there and being servants and protectors, and that is a beautiful thing. And then I want to just say real quickly, you said 2 years ago you came into the Catholic faith. Welcome home. And for you to be making this call today about your beautiful family, I just wish that for your brother as well, that he comes home, and then all four of you will be back together again in the Catholic faith. I think it's a beautiful thing. And Daniel means God is my judge. It's a beautiful, strong name, and so there's no doubt that you're the one that made the call today. So I just think there's no accident to that, Daniel. And thank you, and be safe out there protecting all of us in the community, because it's a tough job these days. And so prayers are around you and your brother for the work that you guys do.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel, for the call. Appreciate that. All right. The phone number is 833-288-3986. Text the letters EWTN to 55000 or post your comment on Facebook or YouTube. We're talking about, are you a twin, a triplet, or one of even more born at the same time? And we're going to go right back to our next call. Teresa in DuPont, Pennsylvania, listening on JMJ Catholic Radio. Hi, Teresa. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Thank you. I'm calling because I'm a twin. My name is Teresa. My sister's name was Helen, but she's deceased, but I married a twin. My husband was a twin.
I was so hoping, Teresa, somebody would call in. I find that I love that when I hear that a twin marries another twin. Okay, so what is it like? I mean, was your husband, was it a identical twin or fraternal twin, or tell us a little bit more?
Okay, well, my husband, as I said, he's passed on. No, we both weren't. We were not identical. In fact, I'm 30 minutes older than my sister. Mm-hmm. So I'm quite older. And growing up, we were always buddies. I always had my sister, we were always together. Dependent, there's always someone there. There's always that bond. But if I may tell you, when we were young going to school, I went to Catholic school, parochial school, and we had another set of twins in our class. But unfortunately, the one twin was dying. She was sick, and she had a brother, and the brother did pass on too. But the mother relayed to sister, and she told us this, that as he was dying, he said to the sister, "I'm coming." And I never forgot that, relating to his sister, that he's coming to see her too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deb, yeah.
Well, you just have to believe that that's what happens. We hear so many stories from saints and from other holy people that have passed on, that they are greeted by those loved ones, the ones that they were very close to, and the ones that are going to greet them to come to the ultimate celebration. And you know what, Teresa, I think that's a beautiful thing. See, the thing I love about twins is that you when you talk about the bond, that started right at the very beginning of conception, and it's going to go on for eternity, because that bond will never be broken in that sense. And I think that's what's the unique thing about twins. Don't you think that, Jerry? That they just have that special person?
Yeah. As you're talking there, Debbie, I don't know a lot about the the embryology of twins, or even single babies and so forth. But like you said, they have that connection actually between the two of them is not only 9 months longer than their connection with any siblings that have been born prior to them, but also it's in such an environment, obviously in the mother's womb, what should be, and thankfully to God in most cases, is the safest place on earth for children to be, and they don't have anything else to distract them from each other. Now, what their consciousness is and all of that, I don't know. That again, that's all human embryology. But as they develop, all that they know for 9 months is each other. Mm-hmm. They don't have the siblings in the outside world and the peer pressures and the noise and the toys and the crying and the screaming and all this stuff. So, yeah, it's just it's almost like a sanctuary. It seems like, where they could just sort of really, really develop their own individual personalities, and maybe also just this bond, this connection. Yeah, that's got to be extra special because of that, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah. What a special story you have, Teresa. What a beautiful story. And I think you said your sister's name that passed. I put her in the book. Helen, you said, Teresa?
Yes, her name was Helen. And may I tell you, when we buried her, it was on our birthday. So.
Oh wow!
Wow, beautiful.
Oh, wow. And your husband's name, Teresa, so I could put him in the book as well.
Yes, I appreciate that. It was John.
John. Okay. You're a beautiful soul, Teresa. Yeah.
Thank you. With the Feast of All Souls, I do appreciate you're praying for them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We always do. Go ahead, Deb.
And I just want to add, Jerry, I just got Ann from Steubenville, Ohio. If you're listening still, please know we're already getting text messages that they're storming heaven for those twin babies of that 18-year-old girl. So, Ann, please know, see, our prayer warriors are going at it already to just ask God to let those babies be born. So,
yes, please, God.
Okay,
a lot of phone calls yet to get to. We will get to each and every one of you, and a line is open that Teresa was on. Thank you, Teresa, for the call. It's 833-288-EWTN. Just want to say that our friend Ben, who listens every day, thanks for calling in. He says, "Hi, Jerry and Debbie. My two little brothers are identical twins. They are both married. Matthew and his wife were married in the Catholic Church last year. Jack was married earlier this year, but is no longer Catholic. Unfortunately, maybe one day he will come back to the church. Well, Ben, I know you through email and your dad through what you've shared with us of his writings and so forth. So I'll tell you what, your Jack has got a great group of influencing Catholics around him, Ben. So I think you can be pretty sure that he is going to find his way home. And we'll pray for that too.
I agree with that. I was gonna send Ben an email back, but you just said it on the air, so that was perfect because I was already praying for Jack. Okay, up next is Bernie, and Bernie's in San Antonio, Texas, on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Bernie. Thanks for waiting and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Go
hear
right
me?
ahead. Yep, just fine. Fire away,
okay.
Bernie. Tell us.
I have a twin brother. His name is Martin. And prior to that, we had a set of identical twins, half-brothers. Now they're both deceased. I don't know much about my brother's spirituality when we were growing up because we were so busy growing up. But I know that in the past 20 years, he's probably at the same level that I am. I left Crucillo back in 1991, and I prayed for my brother to live Crucillo. And I prayed for him for almost 15 years. And praise the Lord, he lived it, and I think that gave him the boost to where he is right now.
Wow. Well, here again, we don't know for sure. I guess we can't know, but Bernie, we were talking about that deep bond, that relationship that develops between twins in the womb. And then, of course, that continues growing up as well. And, Debbie, I'm sure that, they're not going to be like, they're not robots. They each have their own individual soul and individual intellect and individual will. But they are so united that there's going to be a special influence one on the other, even as they grow older. And it sounds like this was a good example of that.
Oh, absolutely. Martin is so lucky to have you, Bernie, as his sister.
And I challenge my twin brother all the time. I'm retired now, and I go to daily mass. And so my twin brother's retired also. He lives in El Paso, Texas. And so, he was going to mass every Sunday because he stayed Catholic all his life, praise the Lord. And so I asked him, I said, you know what you can do for me? You can go one more mass throughout the week. So now he goes every Friday to mass. That's his day that he goes to mass. And so then we started this thing in San Antonio, or I heard it someplace, that if I could get 10 friends to say a rosary, and they in turn would get 10 friends to say a rosary, and pick one day of the week that we could say rosaries, hundreds of rosaries. So then I asked my brother, I said, okay, what day of the week will you say a rosary? And so now I think he does a daily rosary, I think.
Well, but Bernie, what this tells us is that Martin trusts you. He trusts you. You're his twin. I mean, you guys are, how much closer can you get? And so what you say is going to have an impact. And I agree with what Jerry was just saying. You have that unique relationship that you can say, hey, go to an extra mass a week. Hey, say a rosary for this intention. And that's the beauty of it. And I think the more we can learn from this, Bernie, even in our own relationships with spouses and children, we have to develop that trust and that, sense of that really strong bond, kind of like how twins have it, if we're going to be a spiritual influencer on other people. And you're a perfect example of that. Way to go. You have a great brother and he has a great sister.
I was just going to say one more thing, and then I'll hang up because I know there's more polish. But, it's so funny because you talk about coincidentals or things occurring. I had an allergic reaction like 10 years ago or something, and I called my twin brother and said, okay, be aware. I had an allergic reaction. I had to go to the hospital and get some Benadryl and everything else. He had already been in the hospital the week before with an allergic reaction.
Oh, my.
And then I had an accident in which it was like, and not only did I crash my car, not only did I lose a crown on my tooth at the same time, but I was eating Chinese food, and I had no fortune in my Chinese cookie. And so I talked to my twin brother, and he was laughing and laughing. He calls me a week later. He was eating Chinese food. He didn't have a fortune in his cookie either.
Wow. Yeah. This is. It's almost. It sounds like it's almost like. Listen, but when one twin speaks to another, Debbie, what the stories we're hearing, it's almost like when you hear your twin speak to you, it's almost like hearing yourself speak to you in a mirror. Like you're looking at yourself in a mirror, and listening to yourself. I think that's fascinating.
I think that's hilarious. I love the relationship you two have. Way to go. Keep it going, Bernie. And thanks for calling in. That totally blessed our day and our conversation. Oh, I love it.
Ryan Petty, our call screener, said that he has a friend, Nina, and a friend named Nell, and they are twin sisters, and their husbands were best friends long before they met these wives, and the two girls married the two guys at the same wedding.
Wow. No, they were best friends. Okay. Yeah, that's fascinating. Have you ever heard of the story of twins marrying twins?
I have, yeah.
I have too. Isn't that just that's incredible. I love it. Okay, this is great stories we're hearing today, but they're helping us actually understand the dynamics of relationships. So Kathy's up next in Fargo, North Dakota on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Kathy. Thank you and welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much. We have a large family. I come from a family of 13 children. And there are 2 sets of twins in the family.
Wow. Are they identical?
And both sets of twins are fraternal.
Okay.
So the first set of twins are 2 boys, Tom and John. And the second set of twins are boy-girl, Bill and Mary. And so there were like 3 single births, then the first twins, and then 2 more single births and the second set of twins.
That's 9.
And then 4 more single births.
Wow. 2 sets of twins out of 13 kids. Wow, that's... Well, just the fact, Kathy, having 13 kids, in and of itself, that is... What a beautiful statement that is, Debbie. The openness to life, and then to have the couple of sets of twins in there, and the other, single births as well. It's just large families. When God allows and calls people to do that, it really is just a very, very special gift. And God threw in a couple sets of twins there, just to put a little, a little bit of diversity in the mix.
Your parents must have had a lot of energy, Kathy, because like I said at the beginning of the show, I took care of my friend's twins for a couple hours. I was exhausted. I don't know how your parents did it. They're saints. I'm just going to say that. What do you think? You probably all pitched in and helped as well, right?
Well, yeah, we big kids, my older sister and I, were like second mothers to, the younger kids. And, both my parents are deceased, so yes, I do believe they're saints in heaven watching over us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are their first names, Kathy? I'd love to add them to the book just to honor them for having 13 children and 2 sets of twins. Wow.
Oh, thank you. Louise and Don.
Louise and Don. Okay. They're in our book. And I'll tell you what, you're blessed. I come from a big family of 6. I always wanted to have a big family. God had designs otherwise, and that was okay. But I'll tell you what, it's such a cool thing to have these big, gigantic families. I think it's fascinating. Plus, you're never alone. You always have somebody you could go to, somebody to hang out with, somebody to argue with, whatever. Right, Kathy?
Yes, I have a couple of brothers-in-law that are only children. And initially they were maybe a little overwhelmed, but now they just think it's wonderful to have all this help and all this support. And like when their parents would be going through health problems or whatever, and they were the only child, they had all the rest of us to kind of support them and help out. So,
yeah, it's going to be
the twins do have a special bond with Tom and John. One is in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and the other is in Tennessee. But they are Skyping a lot and in constant contact with each other. And then with Bill and Mary, Bill is in California, but Mary's in the Twin Cities area. But they are in constant communication. And So that's kind of fun.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Yeah.
we'll
You mentioned
keep up to date with each other.
Well, I just see the brothers-in-law, marrying into this family. Of course, they knew before they got married that there were all these siblings, but, that could make holidays like Christmas a lot more expensive, depending on what their gift-giving procedures are. But, Kathy, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Kathy.
you very much for joining us. We appreciate that. I want to mention, Rosemary, you're going to be our last call, but we heard from Julia via email. Dear Debbie and Jerry, my identical twin sister Denise has lived in the Sydney, Australia area for almost 47 years. We have remained very close and communicate faithfully all this time. Email and FaceTime make it a lot easier than it used to be. There is definitely a spiritual connection with stories that could fill a book. The most significant one was that because of a dream, I knew exactly when she was having her only baby. On a sadder note, her ex-husband died within a year of my husband. So Julia signs it, love and prayers for everyone. So Julia, we will certainly, we appreciate the email, and we will pray for your twin sister's husband who died.
Yes, absolutely.
And your husband, yeah.
Yes, and thank you for that email. Okay, as promised, Rosemary, you're going to be our last caller today in South Dakota, listening on Real Presence Radio. Hi, Rosemary. Thank you for waiting and welcome. Rosemary, are you there? Oh, did you walk away from the phone? No.
Hello, Rosemary? Maybe not. We will have to check on that. We do actually have a comment from Facebook, Debbie. Doreen on EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook page says, I'm married to a twin, and he refers to things in his childhood as we did this or us instead of I. And he says twins are always connected for life. But isn't that interesting? He refers to things he would say to his wife, Doreen, many years later. Yeah, what we did when we were kids, yeah.
You know what my takeaway is from this show that we did today, this conversation, is that when you think about it, going back to the womb, the story of them, creating this relationship in the womb. I mean, that's how important it was. That's where I believe the bond really did happen, Jerry, and it stays that way for their lifetime. And so that just gives another reason why, we should all be behind and supporting pro-life causes, Yeah.
We got, let's see here. Doris sent this email. I am a twin. My sister and I have the deep, close relationship, and we love God. And the best part of my story is my mother always wanted to have twins and a big family. My grandmother used to tell me why she would play with twin dolls. It was something she always wanted. When she was 6 months pregnant, she had a tumor growing on her kidney, and they had to remove it because the doctors thought thought the tumor was going to grow on the other kidney. Because my mother had great devotion to the Infant of Prague and to Saint Gerard, there you go. She knew it would be fine. The doctor didn't think she or the baby would live. See how great God is. He gave her 2 miracles and 6 more pregnancies. I was number 6, and my twin was number 7. And then she says, can I ask you to pray for my twin sister, Deirdre? She is in chemo, and she has stage 3 colon cancer. The surgery went well, and she's almost done with the chemo. Doris, yes, we'll pray for you and Deirdre and all of your family. Thank you for sharing that on twins.
We will pray. We will absolutely pray. Jerry, how much time do we have left? What do we have? About
a minute. Yeah.
About a minute? I mean, I don't know. They said Rosemary's back. So, I mean, Rosemary, if it in 10 seconds, could you tell us? We don't want to lose you. We tried so hard to get you, Rosemary. Your story real quick?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
got about 15
go.
seconds.
Okay. I'm one of 3 sisters who were born on the same day, but we're now triplets.
Wow.
I always thought it was unique.
Yeah, that is unique. How does that happen?
You mean different years, right?
Well, I was born 2 months premature, and my sister was born 3 weeks premature. And then my sister was, the doctor induced, my youngest sister was born 8 years after me. He was going to have a case where he just induced labor. And my mother chose August 19th, and then my youngest brother was supposed to be born on August 19th too, but he was due that day. He was born the Feast of the Assumption.
Wow. So on the same date. I get it now.
Yeah.
That's a very unique way to end the program, Deb.
Right, it is. Wow, thanks. I'm glad we got you on,
Thanks, Rosemary.
You can always email us, take2, the number 2 at EWTN.com. We have another show planned for you tomorrow. Until then,